Hey, how's everyone doing? Excuse me. All right. We're going to get right into it today. I hadn't fully decided what we wanted to talk about. And I didn't get many suggestions. Let me take a look, see if I got any final last minute suggestions. Last week we talked about a little bit about floor plans, a little bit about editing, or not editing, orders. So, seeing some folks come in. Won't go too deep before everyone's here. Make sure to tell everyone the webinar's here. Hope everyone's having a good day. Got real nasty outside. It was in the 60s yesterday. Now it's down below 40 again. No fun. No fun. Okay. Let's get going. Start that screen share. Okay. All right. Let me just get a sign in here. All right. I guess today we can talk a little bit about users and the way users work in the system. We've got a lot of questions this week and over the last couple weeks. Differences between a broker and an agent or an owner. So we can talk a little bit about that, and then we can go a little bit into what was it? Yeah, well, we'll just start with users and we'll go from there. First things first, every project requires a user. So it doesn't matter what you're doing in our system, be it a business, be it a home for sale, everything requires a user. A user in this instance would be the agent, broker, whomever. You can only assign owners or agents to projects. You can assign photographer account types. You can assign them to orders. You can assign agents to brokerages, so on and so forth. So the way we have the system set up is when you create a project, it's going to prioritize your account settings and your default account settings. If an agent is linked to the project and they have signed in and picked their own defaults that they like, it will then prioritize those settings. And then if they're assigned to an agent and the agent has assigned their own settings, it will use the brokerages in terms of profile, company logo, affiliates, things like that. So we can go just take a look at users. You create a new user. And before we get there, actually, one thing I will mention is the share user feature. The share user feature, if you're ever going to create a user in your system and it gives you an error that their email address has already been used, but you haven't used it, they definitely don't have an account with us. What that might mean is they have an account with a different dealer. We have some fairly dense regions where an agent might go from one to another, and it just so happens they went to another RTV user. That's what the share user is for. What shared user does is you can type in the email address, and if that email address exists elsewhere in the system as a user, not as a dealer or an agent who can build their own tours. If it exists as a user, you type their email address in here, hit share, and then you have access to that user in addition to whatever other FSD also has access to that. So if they switch photographers, if the business switches up, whatever, you know that even if you can't create their account because the email address is already in use, you can link it via the shared user feature. So that's one feature that we like a lot. But we can go through create a new user here. So these are the owner types, or user types, I should say. Starting with agent, so that's your traditional real estate agent. That's going to be the lister of the home, whose branding you might want to appear on the listing. 95% of the time, or that's going to be what type of account you're using, just because I know most of you do most of your business via the agent rather than the homeowner. Cool, so that would be creating an agent account type. Broker is next. You can't assign projects to brokers, but that doesn't mean they're not useful. So you would create a brokerage like you're creating a customer, but the broker would have their default brokerage settings. So the company logo, if they have a custom background or a preferred tour style or property website style, they can save that to their defaults, and then that broker can have their agents linked to them from in the account. So you can see here I have some agents that are not linked to brokerage. I can link to a brokerage and it connects it, and you see the brokerage appear right here. So that would be a brokerage. Then there's owner. This one we generally would reserve for a property owner of a property that's not necessarily for sale, or if it is, it might be a for sale by owner. But this would be if you do a tour for a business, or if you do a restaurant or a nonprofit, whatever it would end up being, the person who hired you to do the tour would be listed as an owner. So you wouldn't be able to assign like a real estate listing to an owner, or you wouldn't be able to assign a business to an agent, vice versa. Now the business might be for sale, which might be when you would link it to an agent instead. But if it's no plans of for sale, you just want a virtual tour, whatever it is, owner account type. Photographer is next. This would be for someone who would be an employee of yours. So with the new ordering system and ordering storefront system, you can assign photographers different orders. So you, as the head FSD, can create an account for your photographer. You can use their email. They get an email when they're assigned an order, all sorts of that stuff. So you could say, until an order is assigned to that photographer, they wouldn't be able to edit it. They wouldn't be able to go in and upload photos until a job is assigned to them directly. And so we can look later in the orders what that would end up looking like. So if you're creating a new order, you can select one of your photographers to assign that to the order. So that would be a photographer. And staff, the final account type is pretty much the same way. It's going to be someone who has access to your account, who might do your, they might grab your reports. So they might distribute the tours themselves, but they're not creating, they're just staff. So that's the final account type. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, no questions yet, so we'll keep moving. No, not a question. All right. All right, so we'll go through and we'll just create a user like they're an agent, which, like I said before, is probably the most common. So we'll call them a test agent. We'll just put in some gibberish. They are active, so you don't have to worry about, that would be this little green bar. So if they're inactive, they're active. It just makes it easier. So if you have an agent who's inactive, when you create a new project, you're not going to see them in the little preview list of agents who you want to assign it to. So that you would have to come out of project creation or create the project with an agent and then switch the agent after the fact once you make the agent active from inactive. So that would be the activities switch there. Generates an auto password for them, which of course you can change, they can change. Gives you a spot to upload profile photo and a company logo for them. So you could do that right through there. Profile photo would appear on tours that are branded, as well as the company logo, if you so choose to have that happen. So you can put in their information, their contact information, all their info can go down here. You can add their links to their socials, so Facebook, Twitter, all that. You can add the links there, and then in their tours, when they see the little social icon, they can click on it and it brings them right to it. This is where you add that. You can put in some about us, address. This controls if they have a little map that appears with their name or not. So you want to make sure that you have at least the zip code city filled out for that specific feature. And then you can put in any notes, and then you can create the agent. Okay, so once we're in, it's pretty much the same same settings that we previously had. We have some extra options. So one, you can choose to log in as them. And so this logging in as them, you can see if you go to my company, I use this as my logo, just a picture of a beach I found. I think one of our photographers took it. I'm not 100% sure. So then there's my logo. And so you can see if we go to this agent and log in as them, the RTV logo goes away and it becomes my logo. So you can give the agent the right to log in using the correct link to do so. That's what we call the private label login. I don't have white labeling set up on my personal account because I don't have a website, but that would be your URL would be your white labeling. And so then logged in as them, you could see any projects they have assigned to them. They can see any orders they have. They can change their default settings. So they can update their photo, their personal information. They can update their company. They can add their own YouTube. And so they can make it so when you create a video and it rips it, it can upload to their YouTube for them automatically. All from right within the system. Questions? But you can also give them more control. So I'll go back into here, go back to that agent. This would also be where you could see any projects that they have been assigned to them. It's just one click from their name. Delete the user if you ever want or need. We don't really recommend. We would just say if you're done with someone, just mark them inactive. That way any tours they have, you don't have to mess with any of that. It's just good to go. But yeah, you have full control over their controls. So if they tell you, you know what, I really don't like the, they say I really don't like Fusion Classic. I really prefer Fusion Slim, or vice versa. You could turn it off for them. And so even though a tour you would create for yourself with a different agent might who doesn't have any of these settings set up, any tour you create for this agent is going to make a Fusion Classic tour. So that's what I meant earlier when I was talking about prioritizing one setting over another. So it's going to be prioritizing the agent setting over settings that you have set. And they've got all these options just like you would. Additionally, another big one is user controls. That's pretty much the only difference between your settings and theirs. They can add their account, or you can edit their account. You can add their affiliate, just like you would normally be able to. But with user controls, you can give them more controls. So they have property information, lead capture, amenities, deliverables, links, media manager. If I wanted to, I could even just remove their ability to do any of that. So how about we just take away media manager? And so any project that was created for this user, they wouldn't be able to go in and edit. And their settings, so if you gave them control of anything, so we could say tour options buttons. So I'll select that. So now when I log in as them under settings, they have tour options and buttons. But when I sign back out and pull that control away from them, they can no longer edit their own defaults. We can see tour options and buttons went away. So to simplify, you can give everyone control of whatever they want. They can take their own customization, but not everybody's going to be comfortable with that. Some folks are going to want to keep their own branding and marketing and whatnot on their productions, but you can give them the control to do that. Questions before I go any further? No? All right. And so from the user tab, I can make a new project for this agent. I can go log in as them with one button. Any orders, projects they have, I can just click, or I could even just deactivate them from right there. And so now I'll activate Testa. If I create a new order, or excuse me, new project, there's Testa right there. But if I head to users and mark Testa inactive, go to create a project, we won't see Testa on the list. No Testa, no Testa. So that's what the activating, deactivating an agent would do. Essentially removes them from visibility, just like activating or deactivating a tour would. It removes its external visibility. Okay. What I will do just to demo it as well, I will reactivate them and I will link them to a brokerage. So normally if you were to create a tour, so we'll say, if I've got any good files I can use. I've got anything will do. I don't know why I'm taking this long. I think this is, oh no, that's a .mov. Nope, not that one. I'll just grab a picture of Jason. And I will grab a photo for company. How about this? So there I put my little Discourse with David logo. I'll hit save. What I will do is before I link that, I will go to one of my live projects. And I am going to change the agent to this one. So we can see if we view the tour. I don't have that turn on. Probably still have to give it. So I'll give her this one. So there we can see him up there. There's his company logo. But then, if we instead decide to link him to a brokerage, which this one is, so that's the brokerage's company logo. If we assign him the brokerage, there it is there. Now we can go to our projects. And it should prioritize the brokerage logo. Let me make sure I did that right. Must be missing a setting. One sec. All right. Another cool thing you can do with users with the new storefront and order system is if you're editing the agent, you go to order settings and you can set their payment type. So you can set them as their prepay only, pay to download, invoice, and then any order they create will automatically have those settings applied to it. So you can set that on a per agent basis because we know some agents aren't the best at paying on time. So we added that feature there for you to do that. All right. Users there. Unlink the brokerage because I might be misunderstanding how that brokerage works. It's very possible. So that kind of goes over users. Do we have any other user questions? Let me just make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Yeah, I mean, they've all got customizable stuff. You can even give them permission to browse through the music and pick their own music files they like. As long as they are able to log in, they can do all of that that does. That's what the user controls switches are for. Yeah, so you can give them control to adjust music, all sorts of cool stuff. Questions? All right, we'll keep moving. We could go over making packages. I don't know that we've done that yet in webinars. We could talk about project creation in general. Lots of great options. All right. Okay. What did I say we were going to talk about? Let's talk packages. So part of the new storefront system is packages, add-ons, variants, deluxe, or not deluxe. Well, you could make a deluxe variant, but packages, add-ons, and variants are the three main types of package that you can create. So package is the overall, add-ons are little things you can tack on to the package, and then variants would be potentially a version with all of the pre-selected add-ons already included, or a deluxe version, or a version for a larger square footage home. I see that happen a lot. People will have pricing for one thing, 0 to 2,000 square foot will be, X amount of dollars, and then 2,000 to 3,000 will be X plus 25%. Whatever it might end up being. So here's a package I've already made, but we'll just make one fresh. So this is what making a package looks like. First things first, we got to give it a name. We could talk about webinar package. And then we have 6 different ways customer can choose to add this to the cart. So first item, single item add to cart, would just be like your normal browsing a store, online web store. Click on the one you want, add to cart, that's it. You can set the price, so 0 or 1's the minimum. I don't know, we'll just say $2.50. And then we can say what tax category this falls under, physical good or a service. We'll just call this a service for now. Package status is inactive by default, active as an option, reason being, you might be in the process of making a package, and any package marked active is going to appear on your storefront. So we want to make sure that if you don't want it active, don't have it active. Otherwise, if prices are wrong or anything, someone could purchase it in the storefront. And if you don't want that to happen, that's the setting you want to flip for that. Average service duration. So this one right now doesn't have a ton of integration, but it's going to be still worth your time to make sure that you add the average service duration for our eventual storefront scheduling that we're adding. So when you can schedule your own job, or if you have a storefront where you allow your customers to get on the schedule, just like selecting a reservation time, they can look through your schedule and say, oh, you've got 90 minutes for this shoot, next Saturday. And they can see that, select that time slot, and pay for the specific package in that time slot. So the average service duration is there to fill out your calendar. Like I said, right now, though, it doesn't serve a whole ton of purpose, but to future-proof yourself, it's going to be worth your time to make sure that's filled out. Short description. Let me open Jason's storefront here and show you the different options. There it is. I'm gonna open his storefront. I'll sign in. So here we are in Jason's storefront. So we can see that it's white labeled. It's got his logo. This is the default photo, but it's one of his photos, so he keeps it. Fully automatic searcher, so you can put in part of an address and get everything you need filled out automatically. Continue. It's going to say, hey, what's up? Do you want to confirm this as incorrect or not incorrect? So, yep, that looks good to me. But if I know that if it wasn't right, I could drag this over here and it's going to say, sure. And I can say, yeah, confirm, or I can reset it to where it was originally. So that's the pin there. So I'll just swap the pin over a tiny bit. Property type, this can all be filled out later by you, but if they're going through the purchase, they can all fill it out themselves as well. So that's going to be a single family, it's vacant, here's the MLS number, here's the square footage, here's the lot size, 3 acres. Oh, that's 300 grand. And I even have a little box for special instructions. So key code, door code, garage, whatever extra notes, things that you want them to photograph could go right here. And by them, I mean your client wanting you to photograph. All right, so here we are in the actual storefront now. So these are Jason's packages that he sells. The short description is going to appear when you're on the final page. This is your short description right there. Or you can also fill out the long description, which is right here. So the short description is that one that appears on the very last page, with the full description, this one, appearing when you select the package. You can then, of course, select the icon for the package, which is this up here. And it looks like Jason has all of these, excuse me, all of these set as single item select. So this first item, single item, add to cart. And so they can select that, continue, no add-ons based on this package selection. Okay, so that's kind of good to know. So we can see that Jason, for his headshots, doesn't have any add-ons enabled. He could add some if he wanted to, but for headshots, you probably wouldn't have a ton of add-ons that you could upsell or anything like that. And then there is the short description with the photo. Photo can be added right here. You can browse your computers, which pulls up your browser. There's also defaults, which we have created for you. Lots of great little differences there. And then if you like these designs that we've got, we actually have the Photoshop files, so you can make your own version, or even just switch the colors of the ones that we've created. We have those files available for download on Rockpoint Marketing. It's free for subscribers, paid subscribers, or it's $20 for anyone else, $20 once. So I had this set as the webinar package. So how about we just put maybe, I don't really have like a webinar. I'll just pick something techie. How about this one? Yard sign installation. For description, we will, pardon my typing. You can see I'm a little tired. Place and install a sign. Only $250. Just as it says, $250 installation for a yard sign. Service duration, we'll say that's, I want to get their money's worth, so we'll say that's 60 minutes. So now this package is finished, and this package as is could be sold. So this would appear on my storefront. All I would have to do is mark it active. But with all the packages, this is where you would add add-ons. So I'll pull Jason's storefront back. I'll go all the way back to the beginning, deselect this one, and I'll select one that I know will have add-ons like this. These are our add-on options for this package we've selected, and we can see we have some other pricing options. So additional true blue still photos. So what those would be, so of course you can browse add-ons you've already created, or you can create a new one. Almost the same menu, name, how you want to purchase it, price, text category, photos, description, long description. So you do have those options as far as building out those packages and add-ons. So looking at Jason's, I could say, oh yeah, I want that, I want that, I want this. And so now on the final page, we can see the 3 add-ons I selected with price breakdowns and with a dollar value in the summary, as opposed to just being donated by or whatever it might end up saying. Any questions before I go too far? All right, so we'll just go through the different pricing types. So select quantity option gives you a cost per item. So it's 20 per item, maximum quantity of 10. That would spit out something that would look like let's go maybe sign in again. Oh wait, no, I'm kidding. So this is the select quantity option. So we can see, oh, 1 is 5, 2 is 10. It's a linear relationship, so the math is not too terrible there. We'll do 19 of those. Selected. So that is select quantity. There's also a select quantity option with base price. That would be with something having the base price. So, first 10 are one fee, and then everyone after that is another fee. So first 10 shots is $50. Every shot after that is an additional 15 or something like that. And so what I could do is, oh, I totally forgot I'm on camera and I just started walking around. What I could do is I could set my max quantity to 10. The first item, so the first whatever it ends up being is 50, and everyone after that is an additional 15. And I could save it like that if I wanted to. And that would appear as a drop down like this. You can also select specific options where you can give labels and prices to the specific options. That's this here. So he typed out up to 2,000 square feet, 2001 to 3,500 to 3,501 to 5,000. Those are the prices he set for those. So I could say, 5 reshots, for example, that's going to be $50. And then I could hit the plus button to add more, or the minus to remove. Bad luck. It's only $35. Again, package activity, so active or not. I was doing that on his live account. I was doing that on mine. I think that's the only one I messed with, so everything else was on my, so yeah, this one's my account, this one's Jason's. So let me just make sure I didn't change too much in Jason's. Yeah, that's correct. It was a close one. Glad I didn't get too far. I'm just going to sign out of that account and just stay in mine. Scared myself there. Okay, any questions? Not seeing any questions yet. So we did specific option selection. You can also set something to free. So if you don't want it to have a price, you can set it for free. The way Jason has that set up on his storefront is, oh no, I'm not showing the storefront. I don't want to do that again. The way he has it set up on his storefront is he has a photographer's choice package. The photographer's choice package is a free option where you select it and then you can select add-ons you want. And then the photographer, when they get there or in their discussions with you on the phone, look over the space, give you an idea of what's best, get you a good quote, and then they invoice you later, as opposed to it being something you just pick out in advance by yourself. So photographer's choice gives the power to the photographer to pick what they want to do. Now, this would generally have all of the add-ons as an option because they say, I don't really know what I need in terms of panos versus stills, but I do know that I really want a social media video. and I do know that I want an astro zoom. So I can set it so the base photography has no cost for now, but then I can pay for the add-ons that I do want. So it's sort of a la carte in that respect. It's a la carte, right? Yeah, a la carte. All right. And then we just released this. You can now remove photos from your packages. So it's just that little X and then you can remove it. So pretty simple there. And then the final price option is price per square foot. So the customer is prompted per square foot, and then they type in their square footage. So what I'll say it's 75 cents per square foot, which is a lot of money. Okay, how about 25 cents per square foot? I'm not a photographer, I don't know. And then this one, we would actually give a new logo too. So we'll just say Panos. So we set that to price per square foot, and we can go from there. We can, like I said before, we can browse existing add-ons, or we can create a variant. We can make a new variant. That'll be single item add to cart. We'll just call it something bonus, whatever. 500 bucks. Grab a picture for it. I always hit the wrong button first. So now if I go to create a new order, we can see oh, I didn't mark it active. Webinar package, mark that active. Don't forget to do that. See if that order went through. Nope. Make a new order. Same deal. And there it is right there. So this drop down here for me is the switching between variants. So price per square foot. Oh yeah, it's 1,750 square feet. And it just does the math for us. So even 25 cents per square foot looks a little high now. Questions? Coming to the end, so I don't want to leave anyone hanging here towards the end of the show. Add-ons appear in this drop down. They can have their own drop downs, of course. Just like so. Select, deselect, save, next, order. All that stuff. I don't have my storefront fully set up, so otherwise I would show you what it would look like in storefront, and I don't want to miss Jason's anymore. Last couple minutes for last couple questions, and I'll probably wrap her up. All right. Okay. All right. Well, looks like there's no final questions. Thanks everyone for coming. I do appreciate you showing up. Same time next week, 3 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see everybody there. Thanks, folks.